This is Show Me Your Shack, a look at ham shack photos received this month. Mike W1MWB lives in Wells, Maine, and he's legally blind. He shows us a closer shot of his TS2000, which is his primary station. He also owns an ICOM ID 880H for D-Star and Echolink, and owns an old Kenwood 7625, which he's currently not using but keeps around because it's so different. Dave NT9E sent photos of his shack, which includes an ICOM HF radio, an amplifier, and a lot of accessory gear. Dave operates all modes from 160 meters to 70 centimeters. Nick W5NSA is working temporarily in Warsaw, Poland, where he uses the call SO5NSA. This is his temporary shack, which includes a Yaesu FT847, an MD100 microphone, and a Waxun KG UV6D. He travels between Tucson and Warsaw quite often. Dale KD8UAU sent us this club station photo of the Tri-State Amateur Radio Association at the Museum of Radio and Technology in Huntington, West Virginia. They hold their meetings at 7 o'clock on the third Tuesday of the month. Everyone is welcome. Jeff KC9TEW from Crown Point, Indiana, is the happy owner of Heil ProSet products. This photo of his console shows his FT2000 and his backup rig, an IC7000, which he uses primarily on 2-meter single sideband. He's just purchased a microphone boom and foot switch from DX Engineering and told us that aesthetics are just as important to him as sound quality. Dan WA9CYR sent us photos of his Friday afternoon project, a 17-meter rotary dipole constructed from junk parts, sweat, and a lot of accumulated pain in the back and legs. The coil in the center is a 12-gauge copper wire wound on a 1-inch form. The elements needed to be longer for this band, so instead of adding more 3/4-inch tubing, which would increase the weight, he used elements from an old TV antenna, fastened them with hose clamps. When finished, Dan sprayed on Flex Seal to waterproof the connections in coax. To adjust the antenna, he mounted it on a 7-foot pole and secured it to his son's riding lawnmower. His 4-year-old son, Aiden, got very upset when he saw what Dan was doing. He told his dad he didn't need an antenna that big on his lawnmower. His dad said, "Sure I do. I can use it to pick up a lot of stations." Aiden was still upset later that evening. The project took 3 hours, cost nothing, and Dan didn't need a Smith chart. Randy K7AGE told us we needed some messy shack photos for Ham Nation, so he sent one. This is the before shot, taken while he was installing another piece of gear. The little project became a big project, but the project ended successfully, and this is the look of Randy's shack after the operation. Joe KC1BAQ sent this picture of his modest ham shack. He just got his technician license in January and upgraded to general in February. Joe bought the old Kenwood TS430 for parts, but tinkered a while, and the rig's on the air now. He modified it and its remote port to use the Signal Link USB modem so he could operate the digital modes. He built a 16-foot, 10-meter dipole, strung it up on the balcony, and has been able to work the world, including the Winter Olympic Special Station RG22RQ on 15 meters. He also worked Japan on JT65. And to wrap up our shack photos, we traveled to Victoria, Australia, to the shack of Craig, VK3NCR. Craig runs an IC7000, an IT100 antenna tuner, and feeds an OCF 80-meter diapole. He just plugged in his new SM30 desk mic. Craig's been a ham since 2007. He loves it. And that's it for April's shack photos. We'd like to show your shack here on Ham Nation 2, so make sure to send a photo or two to Ham Nation Videos at twit.tv. For guidelines, please do check hamnationvideos.info.